Welcome to Podcast 8, What I Love About Bell with Hillary Cole. How you doing, Hillary?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Beautiful day here today. And we are about to maybe take a look at some updates.
Yes, there's a lot of updates. You haven't seen them yet, so let's go see them.
Let's go take a look.
This is going to be a waiting area right here for guests to come in a little bit early or whatever. You know, if they're picking up, their wine club members picking up wine, this will be like a little waiting area. I have a real bench right now. That's one of our old tables. I have a real bench coming in. Should be arriving today, actually. And we'll get that some lighting as well. This room in here will be referred to as the meeting room, but it is one of the tasting rooms. We have 2 shelves that just arrived today that we need to install going in each of those corners. And then a beautiful mirror will hang in between on that back wall. This gorgeous table that I love will expand to seat 14. And then we've got 6 more of these very comfortable chairs here. Yeah, this room is almost finished. Pretty much just waiting on those 2 shelves and a couple little accessories to come in and some artwork. And then we come through here. This will be our new reserve room. For any of you who have already visited us, you might be used to that indoor space with the brown table and brownish chairs. That was the reserve room. This will be the new reserve room. So the goal with this room was just to keep it very small, very cozy, very intimate, and we just want everybody to come in here and feel very relaxed and at home. So this room will seat 4 is really the maximum that we want to have in here so that nobody's all cramped up. But yeah, just nice and comfortable in here, kind of like your living room. Same thing, still have a couple more finishes waiting for a couple of floral things, and of course artwork and mirrors.
Beautiful.
And then the front room will eventually, or the front door will eventually be right here. This wall is getting punched through. So is the wall that's in the meeting room. That's going to get punched through and a door will be put there, but this will eventually be the front door. And then this room right here, is just another one of our tasting spaces. Wanted it to be very comfortable for everybody. And there will be, and again, this is the interim tasting room space. There's going to be some major changes that come into this in about a year's time. So these walls are temporary. These aren't going to be the final walls. But this is our 4 little tasting spaces. Again, still waiting on artwork and mirrors, but we're almost there. We're just to the finishing details. And then in about a year, we'll start the permanent reconstruction. I don't think we've really gone into why we're doing this remodel, but essentially all of our tasting space has been outdoors, which we have a gorgeous view. You get a great view of the Mayacamas Mountains, and then you've got the vaca backed up to the winery. So nothing wrong with the view whatsoever. Beautiful place for tastings. But we didn't have an indoor space to speak of except for the 1 reserve room. So really, at any given time, we could only have 1 group of people tasting inside. And even with the outdoor tastings, all of our groups would be next to each other, and they're not really that private conversation capacity. And so it got very kind of difficult sometimes, and I just thought it would be easier and better for all of our guests if we were to be able to pull some tasting space inside. During the summertime, it's very challenging because it gets very hot. We've just finished 2 consecutive weeks of days that reached over 111 degrees here in Yountville. That's very intense, and that's not even counting the 90-degree days and the days that it's over, say 85. That's not the best setting to be able to taste wine. Wine is not going to show well there. So even if you're enjoying the view, by the time you've been out there for an hour and a half, you're getting a little warm, and the wine is not at its best. And for us, we want everybody to enjoy the setting that they're in and enjoy the aesthetic of where they are, but equal to or slightly secondary to the wine showing at its best. And so by creating this space indoors, we were able to create 4 different private spaces so that, as people are here tasting, they're with their people, not necessarily, getting talked over by other people who are here at the same time. and also sheltered from the elements. Because it's not only the summertime, the flip side of that is that in the winter, when we do get the condensation and it's foggy and it's chilly and it's cold and the vines are dormant and everything, wine doesn't really show its best in that situation either. And then in fall and spring, once the wind starts kicking up, your olfactory's gone. So all of those conditions with having all of our tastings outdoor, we just really felt would be better served correcting by bringing some space indoor. So this is what used to be pretty much an extension of the barrel room in a very large warehouse. Our entire space here was like half barrels and half warehouse space. So we just took the warehouse element and made it into tasting spaces. And again, what you're about to see is temporary. This is all, even though it's brand new, this is all getting ripped out in about a year. And the reason for that is all of our materials, with all the conditions going on right now with construction and supply chain and everything like that, all of our materials have been delayed by at least a year. But we didn't want to wait for that amount of time before we could have something to implement right now. So we got temporary materials, temporary furniture, temporary everything to bring in for the time being, and what will be very similar to the permanent footprint. And then once we're able to get all the permanent materials in, then this will get changed to the permanent footprint with a couple more twists and turns around the way.
Okay, as we wrap up podcast 8, Hillary, the question of the day: what do you love about Bell?
I think our attention to detail and just the details in general. Like this indoor space, for instance, it's already come so far. And, we're still looking at those last finishing details that are just going to push it that much further. And even the details that will go into the permanent space. And so there's a lot of those fine, minute details that we're really fine tuning right now. And that is mirrored on the other side of the wall as well, outside on the crush pad. Our wine is obviously already very boutique, very handcrafted, very high quality wine. But the extra fine-tuning and details that we'll be able to pull with the new equipment that John has invested in and that the owners have invested in, all of that attention to details and pulling everything together that much more for our guests and for our wine enthusiasts, I just think is really special and really important. And so I think probably way back at the beginning, I think my very first what I love about Bell was its Renaissance phase that it's in. And seeing such an important transformation and transition happening right now kind of makes me think about that Renaissance era being what I loved about Bell, and seeing that move forward. We're on episode 8 now, to we're on the details portion of it now. I think it's been a lot of fun.
What a beautiful transformation. It is true. It feels very homey, comfortable. Just a great place to enjoy, learn about wine with friends and family. Great job.
Thank you. That was definitely the goal. We wanted a place that would be comfortable, that would feel like home, and not feel temporary, because this is temporary. This is not what the permanent space will be, but we didn't want it to feel temporary. We still want it to be very comfortable. So thank you.
This just looks absolutely fantastic, and looking forward to our guests coming in, enjoying the space.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who picks which rooms as their favorite.
Thank you for joining us for podcast 8, and stay tuned for more What I Love About Bell with Hillary Cole. For more information, give us a ring or visit our website, bellwine.com.